In the loud and often chaotic world of cryptocurrency, one project has been quietly building an empire. It's not traded on major exchanges. It doesn't have the backing of Wall Street giants. Yet the Pi network has amassed a following that rivals the population of many countries. This is a story about a different kind of digital currency. It's one that you can mine on your smartphone without draining your battery or needing a powerful computer. The promise was simple: make crypto accessible to everyone, everywhere. And as we stand here in mid-2025, it appears that this simple promise has sparked a silent, global revolution that we can no longer afford to ignore. The core idea behind Pi network is to correct what its founders saw as a fundamental flaw in the first wave of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. Early adopters got rich, while latecomers faced massive barriers to entry. High costs, complex technology, and environmental concerns kept the average person on the sidelines. Pi's creators, a team of Stanford graduates, wanted to change that narrative entirely. They envisioned a currency for and by everyday people. The project was designed to grow its user base first, building a vast, distributed network before its currency held any official market value. This security circle approach relies on users vouching for each other, creating a social fabric of trust that underpins the whole system. This patient, community-first strategy has been its greatest strength. While other coins experienced wild price swings and market speculation, Pi focused on education and user engagement. It asked its members, called pioneers, to do one simple thing: open the app once a day and tap a button. This act, repeated by millions, has steadily secured the network and distributed its digital currency. It has fostered a sense of collective ownership and shared purpose. This isn't just about technology. It's a social experiment on a massive scale, questioning who gets to participate in the future of finance and how that future is built. So why does this matter now in 2025? Because the network has reached a critical mass. The long-awaited open mainnet phase is on the horizon, a moment that will connect Pi to the broader crypto ecosystem and potentially assign it a real-world monetary value. For years, critics dismissed it as a project going nowhere. But its millions of users didn't listen. They kept tapping, they kept building, and they kept believing. Now, the world is beginning to pay attention. The story of Pi network is no longer about potential. It's about the tangible impact it's already having on a global scale, from bustling African markets to small businesses in Southeast Asia. To understand the sheer scale of Pi network, you have to look at the numbers. As of July 2025, the data paints a staggering picture of global adoption. The network now boasts over 55 million engaged users who have completed the Know Your Customer process. This isn't just a count of app downloads, these are verified, active participants. These pioneers are distributed across more than 230 countries and regions, making it one of the most geographically diverse digital projects in history. The daily engagement metrics are just as impressive, with a consistent majority of these users actively participating in the network each day, contributing to its security and stability. The growth has been exponential, especially in the last 18 months. As the project moved closer to its open mainnet launch, user trust solidified. The migration of mined Pi from the test environment to the mainnet blockchain has been a key indicator of progress. To date, over 2.8 billion picoins have been successfully migrated to user wallets. This means millions of people now hold the keys to their own digital currency, ready to transact once the network opens up. This isn't theoretical value locked away in a system. It's a tangible asset in the hands of a global community, a sleeping giant of economic power. Beyond the user count, the ecosystem itself is flourishing. The Pi browser, an essential tool for interacting with the network's applications, has seen millions of downloads. It's the gateway to a burgeoning digital economy. Developers from around the world have been building on Pi's platform, creating everything from e-commerce marketplaces to social media apps and games. The recent Pi Fest event, a global initiative to encourage local commerce using Pi, saw participation from thousands of businesses, both online and brick and mortar. These numbers tell a story not just of a currency, but of a comprehensive digital nation being built from the ground up. What these figures truly represent is a paradigm shift. Traditional finance, and even first-generation crypto were exclusive clubs. Pi network, by its very design, is inclusive. Its growth is not driven by venture capital funding or splashy marketing campaigns, but by word of mouth and genuine grassroots enthusiasm. Each of those 55 million users represents a person who saw a chance to be part of something new. a financial system where they could be a founder, not just a consumer. This widespread organic distribution is the bedrock of Pi's claim to be the people's currency, and the numbers back it up. The true story of Pi Network isn't found in code or on a balance sheet. It's found in the lives of its users. In Africa, where financial infrastructure can be unreliable and inaccessible, Pi represents a leapfrog opportunity. We spoke with Adekunle, a small business owner in Lagos, Nigeria. For him, traditional banking means high fees and long lines. With Pi, I see a future where I can pay my suppliers in Ghana instantly, without losing a big chunk to transaction fees, he explained, showing us his Pi wallet on his phone. It gives us, the small players, a chance to compete on a global stage. It is hope. His story is echoed across the continent, where mobile phones are plentiful, but bank accounts are not. Travel across the globe to Southeast Asia, and you'll find a different but equally powerful story. In Vietnam and the Philippines, Pi is already becoming a medium of exchange in local communities. We visited a small cafe in Ho Chi Minh City, where a sign proudly states, "We accept Pi." The owner, a young woman named Lynn, told us it started with her customers. Many of them are pioneers. They asked if they could pay for coffee with their Pi. So, we agreed on a value and started. It brings in more business and builds a strong community. Here, Pi isn't an abstract investment. It's a practical tool for daily life, used for everything from groceries to haircuts, all based on a shared belief in its future worth. In Latin America, the motivation is often different again. In countries like Argentina and Venezuela, which have battled hyperinflation for years, citizens have been forced to look for alternatives to their national currencies. For them, Pi represents stability and a hedge against economic uncertainty. We met Marco, a university student in Buenos Aires. "Our peso loses value every day," he said grimly. "I don't know what Pi will be worth in the future, but I know it's a global asset, not tied to our government's policies. Mining Pi costs me nothing. It is a low-risk bet on a more stable financial future for myself and my family." It's a sentiment of self-preservation, a quest for an economic safe harbor. These individual stories, from Lagos to Lima to Ho Chi Minh City, weave together a global tapestry. They reveal that Pi Network is more than just technology. It's a solution to real-world problems. For some, it's about financial inclusion and escaping poverty. For others, it's about convenience and community building. And for many, it's a shield against economic instability. The reasons are diverse, but the goal is the same: to find a better, fairer, more accessible way to manage their financial lives. The power of Pi lies not in its algorithm, but in the human aspirations it represents and empowers across the globe. One of the most critical concepts for understanding Pi Network is the network effect. In simple terms, it means a service becomes more valuable as more people use it. Think of the telephone or social media platforms like Facebook. One phone is useless, but a billion phones create a global communication network. Pi Network was built from the ground up to harness this very principle. By focusing on growing its user base before establishing a monetary value, it prioritized creating a vast interconnected web of pioneers. This massive user base is now Pi's most significant asset, forming the foundation of its potential value. This isn't just a theory, we are actually seeing it play out in real time. With over 55 million verified users, Pi has a built-in market that is orders of magnitude larger than most other crypto projects had at their launch. This scale is incredibly attractive to developers and businesses. Why build an app for a network with only a few thousand users when you can build one for a potential market of millions? This dynamic creates a virtuous cycle. More users attract more developers who build useful apps and services, which in turn attract even more users. This organic growth is what gives the Pi currency its coin, its utility, and consequently, its potential value. Furthermore, the value of Pi is not just determined by speculation on an exchange. It's being established through real-world transactions within its enclosed ecosystem. When a farmer in the Philippines agrees to sell a bag of rice for 1 Pi, a value has been set. When a developer sells a digital service for 10 Pi, a value has been set. These peer-to-peer transactions, happening thousands of times a day across the globe, are creating a consensus on Pi's worth. This price discovery is happening organically, from the bottom up, rather than being dictated by traders from the top down. The larger the network, the more transactions occur, solidifying a stable and realistic valuation. Ultimately, the sheer size of the network acts as a powerful defense. A network with millions of globally distributed nodes is inherently more secure and decentralized. It's more resilient to attacks and less susceptible to control by any single entity or government. Each new pioneer who joins and participates in the security circles strengthens this resilience. They are not just mining a coin, they are actively contributing to the infrastructure of a new digital economy. The value of Pi, therefore, is a direct reflection of the collective power, activity, and belief of its tens of millions of users. For any currency to succeed, it must be useful. You have to be able to buy things with it. This is where Pi Network is making significant strides, moving from a theoretical project to a practical tool for commerce. The most visible evidence of this is the growing number of businesses, both online and physical, that are integrating Pi as a payment method. Through initiatives like PiFest, the community has showcased a burgeoning marketplace. We've seen everything from electronic stores in South Korea to local artisans in Europe and car dealerships in West Africa advertising their willingness to accept Pi for goods and services. These aren't just isolated experiments. They are part of a larger movement to build a complete Pi-powered economy. Online marketplaces built on the Pi platform are emerging as hubs for this new form of commerce. Platforms like PiChain Mall and Pi Barter Mall function much like Amazon or eBay, but with one key difference. All transactions are conducted in Pi. These marketplaces allow pioneers to list products, from handmade crafts to used electronics, and sell them to other pioneers around the world. This creates a circular economy where Pi is earned and spent within the ecosystem, giving the currency immediate and tangible utility long before it hits any external exchange. The integration goes even deeper than just retail. We are seeing the first signs of business-to-business transactions. A farmer who accepts Pi for his produce can then use that Pi to pay a supplier for seeds or equipment. This creates a supply chain that operates partly or wholly on the Pi network. It's particularly powerful for international trade on a small scale. A designer in the United States can commission work from a developer in India and pay them instantly in Pi, bypassing costly international wire fees and currency conversion headaches. This frictionless transfer of value is a game changer for freelancers and small global businesses. The success of these early integrations provides a powerful proof of concept. It shows that millions of people are not just hoarding a speculative asset, they are eager to use it as a medium of exchange. Each successful transaction, whether for a cup of coffee or a used car, builds confidence in the network. It reinforces the shared belief in Pi's value and encourages more businesses to come on board. This is how a currency is born in the 21st century, not by government decree, but through the collective action and trust of a global community, building its own main street, one transaction at a time. Beyond its function as a currency, Pi Network is tackling another fundamental challenge of the Internet digital identity. In our current online world, our identity is fragmented and controlled by large corporations. We use Google, Facebook, or Apple to log into countless services, giving them unprecedented access to our data. Pi offers a different vision, a single, secure, and user-owned digital identity that you control. The network's mandatory Know Your Customer process is the cornerstone of this vision. While it's a necessary step for regulatory compliance, it also serves a much larger purpose within the ecosystem. The Pi KYC process, which verifies that each user is a unique human being, creates a network of real, authenticated individuals. This is a powerful tool against bots, fake accounts, and scams that plague so much of the internet. When you interact with someone on a Pi application, you can have a higher degree of confidence that they are who they say they are. This layer of trust is essential for building a safe and reliable digital economy. It allows for more secure online interactions, from financial transactions to social networking, without relying on a centralized corporate intermediary to police the system. This verified identity has profound implications for online security and privacy. With a Pi identity, you could potentially access a wide range of web services without creating a new username and password for each one. More importantly, you could control exactly what information each service gets to see. Instead of a website getting your entire profile, you could grant it permission to verify only one thing. For example, that you are over 18 without revealing your name or date of birth. This puts the user back in control of their personal data, a stark contrast to the data harvesting models that dominate the web today. Ultimately, Pi is building more than just a payment system. It's building a trust layer for the next generation of the internet, often called Web 3. In this future, our digital lives could be more secure, private, and decentralized. Your Pi identity could become your passport to this new digital world, allowing you to vote in decentralized governance systems, own digital assets securely, and interact with others on a peer-to-peer basis. By solving the identity puzzle first, Pi is laying the groundwork for a more trustworthy and equitable online experience for everyone, where your digital self is truly your own. The entire Pi network community is holding its breath for one pivotal event, the launch of the Open Mainnet. This is the moment the network's protective firewall comes down, allowing for full connectivity with other blockchains and traditional financial systems. The core team has laid out a clear roadmap with 3 conditions for this launch: completion of mass KYC verification, migration of a significant amount of Pi to the mainnet, and the development of a mature and diverse app ecosystem. As of mid-2025, incredible progress has been made on all 3 fronts, suggesting the launch is no longer a distant dream, but an imminent reality, with many anticipating it by the end of the year. As Pi moves closer to this open phase, it inevitably enters the complex world of global regulation. Governments worldwide are still grappling with how to handle cryptocurrencies. Some nations have embraced them, while others have been more cautious. Pi's approach, emphasizing user identity verification and compliance from the start, positions it favorably in these discussions. By proactively preventing illicit activities and ensuring a network of real users, Pi demonstrates a level of responsibility that regulators often find lacking in the anonymous corners of the crypto world. This could make it a model for how a large-scale digital currency can operate within global legal frameworks rather than outside of them. The launch of the Open Mainnet will unleash a new wave of innovation. We can expect to see Pi listed on public exchanges, which will establish a global market price. More importantly, it will enable seamless integration with existing businesses. Imagine paying for your Amazon order or your Uber ride directly from your Pi wallet. This level of integration is the final step in transforming Pi from a self-contained ecosystem into a major player in the global economy. Projects are already being built in anticipation of this, from sophisticated financial instruments to cross-border payment solutions that could revolutionize international remittance and trade. In closing, the journey of Pi Network is a testament to the power of collective belief and patient grassroots growth. It started as a simple idea on a university campus and has blossomed into a global movement of over 55 million people. By prioritizing accessibility, community, and real-world utility, it has carved a unique path in the crowded crypto space. The road ahead is filled with both immense opportunity and significant challenges. But one thing is clear: Pi Network is no longer a quiet experiment. It is a force that has the potential to fundamentally reshape the future of digital currency, democratize access to finance, and build a more equitable and interconnected global economy for decades to come.